Shu told me to read the digital stuff, and I was like, I don't want to. I really don't. He said he's not gonna send me more physical paper stuff, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hold on to this for dear life. Did I talk about this? I should have talked about this. I didn't talk about this, bodies being sacred. I feel like this would come in handy for the inhuman beings because they're gonna be like, oh, I didn't even talk about this. Because technically God didn't directly make them either. So they're like, are we monsters? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no. Technically, you're still divinely good unless you choose to be a monster. So, like, in this section here, it talks about bodies being sacred, right? Because humans are made of dirt. I don't know what you guys are made of. And you gotta enlighten me, okay? But this talks about trauma, right? And the body's response to that. Right? Because if you're going to like Days of Creation nonsense, Shu made everything. So if Shu made whatever made you, you're not innately evil, right? Unless you choose to be. You just can't have to. You kind of have to ignore if people react negatively to you if you haven't done anything wrong. Okay. What else do I need to? What else are we looking at? Oh, it keeps talking about singing songs. I don't like this. It says love your neighbor. It's like, love your neighbor how? Because a lot of you don't know the different like levels of or different degrees of love. You're just like, oh, there's just like I don't even want to go into it, but I'm reading this. I'm like, love your neighbor how? Like, what the fuck? Wording is important. Oh yeah, there's also gratitude. I forgot to bring this up. You're supposed to give thanks as often as you can to God. Because remember, his job's very thankless. More people are fighting with him than anything else, but I'm like, that's kind of his fault. I didn't know he liked to pick fights. Like, what is this? Cultivate gratitude. For God's faithful and loving actions. Some translations use the word fear. A better translation might be in awe or have deep respect of what God has done in our lives and in the life of the world. This means recognizing the blessings we and those around us have received and then offering thanks to them. That's hurting my eyes. Offering thanks should be part of our daily life, but too often we find ourselves too busy to notice or acknowledge blessings as they arise. Gratitude should always be intentional. Right? You guys can't. You know how people say sorry, but they never say what they're sorry for? It's the same thing. If you're gonna say thank you, say what you're thankful for. Like, it's always so half-assed. Okay. Let's keep going. I'm almost midway here. Repentance is a big one. We are what we say, so words matter. I forgot to ask him if it's bad that I cuss so often. I'm gonna come back to that because I have a really funny story on this shit. I remember when I met Kiara, I told you guys she was a god sent too, because I'm like, of all people. Oh, here's a good one. I highlighted this in purple so you guys can see. Those who want to save their life will lose it. Those who lose their life for my sake will find it. That is mad bars. Here's another one. It says, if any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. I was like, damn. Words be heavy. It says to speak the word, even though he won't let me read it physically. He's like, I gotta go read it digitally. I'm like, fuck. Because at least he'll always be with me, right? He controls phones and stuff, so I'm like, I need to figure out where I'm gonna put it. I like these devotional things. The fact that he let this be in my hands, I'm like, it makes more sense when you take what's already old and been there and apply it to nowadays. Right? Like the conflict management thing, I'm like, that's never gonna change. It's as old as time. The church policy thing, that's always the thing. Being grateful is always gonna be a thing. People who don't take care of a plant, people who don't take care of the plant, it's always gonna be a thing. Ah, the idiots. Oh, the forgiveness thing here. Not 7 times, but I tell you 77 times. I highlighted that too. Forgiveness is a lifelong process. That's so fucked. And I told you guys already, forgiveness is for you, not for the other person that fucked you over. Got it? What else is here? God will never leave us God will never leave us to fend on our own. Because that'd be fucking irresponsible as fuck. Let him deal with it. This is them problems. Let them fix it. Oh, going back to the works and fruits thing, I'm like, does that apply to Shu? Because I'm like, I don't understand what this means. Because people are like, make his works known. Does that like include when he's walking on water, healing the sick, casting out demons? Is that where that comes from? Like, what's the fruits and the works there? Someone explain that to me. This one I really like because I told you I always leave him out, right? So he's hearing everything about me from everyone else and not directly from me, which is so fucked. So this one goes, only live your life in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ, so that whether I come and see you or am absent and hear about you, I will know that you are standing firm in one spirit, striving side by side with one mind for the faith of the gospel. And I read that and I was like, ah, fuck, I got chills. I feel like now, because I don't know if he's here or not, I'm like, I should be talking mad shit about him. That's what I'm telling you guys. I'm like, I don't know if I'm qualified to talk about this, but all this stuff is happening now, so I might as well run my mouth. Sharing stories about what God has done for you. Let me see. Change is possible. Discern needs from wants. Share our experiences for generations to come. It says God has no hands and feet but yours. Like, that's bars too. Connection, community, faith, accountability. Okay, done with this book. See, I thoroughly went through this. I told him I would. Oh, done with this. Now what I'm going to do with this book is, like, sometimes if I have to go back to certain things, I'll go back and read it, right? Like that one where it's like, I'm hearing about you. Like, that one, like, really threw me off. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, certain stuff like that I go back and read, or like where it says, like, you're in a different place, you're not alone, those types of things. That's where, you know, the Bible comes in handy, because you're like, ah, man. But I'm gonna use it in a real crazy ass way where I'm like in public areas, and instead of having people stare at me, they can stare at what I'm doing. So he kind of helped me out there. All that Bible study made me hungry. Barbecue flavor is so good. Okay, when I was watching Johnny's videos, right, Pastor Johnny, he talks about us being like crumpled up money in a pocket, right? No matter what you do with the money, it doesn't lose its value, right? So instead of using the money analogy, I want to use the diamond analogy, right? Because they said we're made up of like carbon, right, and all the other stuff. If you chip a diamond, right, or I don't know what else, but that doesn't change the value, right? Diamond's still a diamond. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you behave like a monster's still a monster, right? Like, connect back what I'm trying to tell you guys now. Them should have it easy when they're on the bottom because they can be redeemed, but they choose to behave like idiots. Okay, now I'm going to compare religion and law because I told you there's a lot of overlap, and I was dealing with the law stuff when I was looking into this, right? This was like a whole month dedicated to this bullshit. Oh my gosh. I hope she was grateful because I'm going to be walking around like a crazy person. I should go visit the other church I didn't get to go to. It's on the way to the grocery store, but they're never open. Let me see what type of church they are, I forget. What type of church is you? What is this? It just says Church of Christ. I'm like, okay. What type of church? Like the fuck? Whatever, it's a house of God. I don't know what type of church this is. What does the word yoke mean? Like, this is another term where it's like, it's so fucking old. Can someone give me, like, the slang term now? Fucking annoying shit. See, this is where I need AI. I'm like, someone tell me what type of fucking church this is. They're only open on Sunday and Wednesdays, and on Wednesdays it's like at weird ass times. Congregation's another word. These words are so fucking foreign to me. I'm like, I've never hurting my head. I didn't know what type of church this is, and they're at weird hours. They're only open 2 days out of the week. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you need to go and pray, right, and you're supposed to pray with other people, how are you gonna do that when this place is never open? Make it make sense. That's the other thing too. You can tell people who know God and people who don't know God, because if you don't have beef with him, I'm like, you don't fucking know him at all. Okay, going back to comparisons between religion and law now, right? So certain terms come up like intent, conviction, testimony. Those things both cross over, right? For example, if we use intent, let's say you're going on a date, right? Since a lot of you are in that mindset right now, a lot of the women can tell you the dudes with gross intent and the guys with good intent, right? The dudes with the fucked up intent are gonna treat them like they're prostitutes, right? They're like, oh, I bought you a meal, now I'm gonna take you home to fuck you, right? Them dudes have fucked up intent, right? If the intent after going on the date and he's like, oh, it'd be nice to go on date 2, 3, 4, whatever, right? He's got good intent. Okay, I don't know why I gotta tell you guys this, but just so we can get that all away, right? If we're looking at intent from a religious standpoint, you could also look at that from a law standpoint, because if the dude decides to take matters into his own hands and harm the woman, now where are you gonna be in court? Okay? So the intent determines how shit your lifestyle is gonna be, right? If the dude always has that type of mindset, he's never gonna find anything solid. He's always gonna be fucked up, right? He's always gonna choose his demons over any godly thing. You know what I mean? Right? Going on a date doesn't equate to sleeping with the person. This is like modern day prostitution. Like, what in the fuck? It's like they don't understand the concept of love, and they only understand the concept of being used. Right? It's transactional, right? It's like, I paid for food, you gotta do, right? Like, that's so fucked. The point of doing all that is supposed to date for marriage, right? You're supposed to get to know the person. It's like, if you're not compatible, you know it's not gonna work, then move the fuck on. You act like there's not that many people out there in the world. It's not like we're at the start of Adam and Eve's time where it's like there wasn't anybody, there wasn't options, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh my god. So fed up with this. There's also traits too. This is also really fucked up intent when it comes to dating. People are like, I only date people that are 6 foot, or I only date people with this amount of bank account, or I only date someone that's a blonde, right? Like, when you're looking for those things, the intent, they're still fucked up, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Conviction. Where did I put this here? Okay, I'll come back to that. Yeah. And then testimony. Testimony is when they're talking about sharing your story, right? But in law, it means recounting events from your point of view. Oh, God. Okay, so they say when you're lonely, depressed, or empty, that means you're spiritually starved and you're supposed to turn to God. But most idiots decide to turn to the demons because they have a quick fix, but then they end up getting fucked over in the end. This point I always learned from my mom, right? Where it's like happiness comes from putting other people first. Even though some people, they make you fucking miserable as fuck. I do that here. Like everything I've done up until this point, I've done for somebody else. Like I don't know why I'm talking here, but someone needs to hear it, and somehow it's gonna come back, right? I'm not doing this for me, other than to like, you know, someone help me fill in the blanks. This is mostly for whoever needs to hear this, right? Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be recording this, and you know, butterfly effect. So there's that passage in the Bible that says, "Listen more than you speak. Keep your ears and heart open." Right? So before you come to whatever conclusion you come to, before whoever's done talking finishes talking, you should hear them out first and then talk, right? And give your opinion if they ask for it. If they did not ask for it, right, then it starts becoming like therapy. It's like if you need a therapist, go to a therapist, right? Right? Because everybody's got that friend that trauma dumps, eh? This adds on to my point of why I hate people, because people are selfish, right? They always put themselves before other people. But I'm like, you're supposed to put other people before yourselves. Unless it's detrimental to that. You know what I mean? Like, going back to the airplane thing, okay, it's like, you gotta take care of your oxygen, secure your mask before you do the others. Right? You gotta make sure you're good before you can reach other people. Right? But you should be reaching for other people first. And most people don't. Right? So they're constantly in pain. It's like, Lisa, I'm making more money than that person. How come I'm not happy? Or Lisa, I'm like stronger than that person. I'm not happy. Lisa, I'm doing this, this, and this. And I'm like, of course you're never gonna be happy. You let that you got to this level and let the other person. There's that disparity now. It's not like if we're going to the strength thing. It's not like it's not like you're like, I got stronger so I could help. I don't know, like carry this person's groceries from the car to the house or something. I don't know what example to give you guys, but you know what I mean? It's like they didn't use what they gained to help somebody else. They used what they gained to help themselves. Right? It's like I secured my own oxygen mask and I give a fuck about the other people. Those people probably died from lack of oxygen, right? It's like that kind of situation. This is why I hate people. Because when you're selfish, you cause pain. Going to the money example I just used. It's like, Lisa, I made this amount of money and I don't know what to do with it. Logically, it'd be like, stop withholding it and send it to charity or do something with it that helps other people. Common sense. Okay, most people are feeling depressed, isolated, lonely. Them tend to sleep it off, right? They'll sleep and sleep and sleep, or they'll find a coping mechanism like alcohol, right? And they slowly get swallowed up by the darkness because they found comfort from soothing their pain away that way, right? And I'm like, you chose the demons over anything. Like, how stupid can you be? Quick fix is never the right fix. For example, if someone told me, because right now people always look at me crazy, like, how come you don't drink, right? They look at me wrong, right? If someone came up to you and told you jump off a bridge and it'll make you feel better, would you do it without question? Or would you tell them, why don't you jump off a fucking bridge? Right? That's my attitude toward this. So I'm like, okay, if everyone's drinking and I don't want to drink, right? It's like, why don't you just fucking keep that to yourself? Or like find an alternative for me. Or just don't invite me to this situation where I'm like in a fucking, like, I don't know how to explain this. You know what I mean? Everybody has free will and they have choice. If I choose not to drink, well, I can't even if I wanted to. She was gonna find a way to knock it out of my hands. But you guys understand what I'm saying, right? Even if then people don't understand consent. I remember Trev yelled at my aunts for this once, and Mom looked at him like, Lisa. Mom looked at Trev and she was like, Lisa, look what the fuck he just did. Because she was embarrassed. My mom's always apologizing when one of us gets like explosive, right? I haven't done that yet because I'm like, if I do it, something's seriously fucking wrong, okay? So Trev's way more patient than me, and if something happens, he always holds me back. He's like, Lisa, don't fucking do it. I'm not dealing with this. I'm like, It might have been when my grandfather died, right? We were at the house, family's there, aunts are annoying as fuck. I think Trev's the favorite because everybody that meets Trev, no one ever has anything bad to say about him, right? So my aunts have a liking to Trev, right? Because he's a favorite, right? Because he doesn't talk back. I talk back. Bry's real aggressive. And Tonzi makes the person, like, he makes the others feel stupid, right? So intelligence, me, I argue back, and then Bry fights. So we all, except for Trev keeps quiet because he's like, Lisa, the one who's quiet is the one who's gonna get what they want. We all handle things differently, right? But Trev's the favorite because he's not aggressive. That's why I get mad whenever Trev's feeling heavy, when his energy, something's wrong with his energy, because I'm like, I know he wouldn't fight back. This instance now, on my aunts, I don't remember what they were telling him. He kept saying no, right? And they're so fucking hard-headed. They didn't hear him the first time, so his tone starts increasing. And I can see him getting angrier and angrier, and I'm like, please don't cuff her in the face. I swear to God, Trev, please don't be that one. My mom's watching this and like, because she said she's embarrassed of us, right? But my dad, I don't think my dad was there. Every time we're like at that house was fucking cursed. Every time we're there, my dad's never in that room. I don't know what he would have done if Trev had clocked them. I would have whipped out my phone and be like, yes, Trev, and you never play this over and over every time I'm pissed with him. You know, that's not a godly thing to do, but for me, it's satisfying because it's like, you know, when you're like annoying someone to the point where you finally get what's coming to you, I was like, that's what it was at that point in time. And they had no shame. It was so fucking ridiculous. It's like, my aunt afterwards, she's like, what's up with Trevor? I was like, I've never seen him behave that way. And I'm like, are you a dumb fucking bitch? Like, what? See, like, they don't come up to talk to me unless they feel like they've been wrong. It's like, oh, look how Trevor behaved toward me. And I'm like, look how stupid like, you're older than him and look how stupid you're behaving. Like, I don't... Right? So I hate seeing people like this. I told you, my aunt said, she's like, you think you're better than me? I'm like, no, I don't feel that way, but you act like a dumb jackass. I'm like, who's gonna want to be near you? Trev had a lot of patience, though. He just increased his tone and his voice got louder and deeper, and I was like, oh, fuck. See, if it was me, I would have cussed them out. Then I would have caused some bloody damage. That's when Trev has to hold me back. He's like, you're taking it too far. But I'm like, them didn't hear the first time, right? You know the saying, it's like, if you're not here, you gotta feel. right? All of you that know have been beaten before and you know what that means. I'm like, if I had to learn that at a young age, I'm gonna teach you that lesson at an old ass age, okay? I'm like, Trev, don't hold me back. If I have to, I'm like, they not hear you say no the first time. I'm gonna make sure they hear you say no the last final time. You know what I mean? I don't care if I cause damage. I'm like, you guys, like, their dishes and everything are fucking garbage too. I don't have anything to say. That's what I'm telling you. Your spirit knows when you're near a proper person, when you're near a fucking bullshit person. When you have someone, especially someone older than you, egging you on like that. Oh god. Trev and I, like, none of us like to waste food, right? Because again, like, we know what it's like to not have anything to eat. So the fact that he told her no, and she didn't hear, you know how, like, they like to, like, overfeed? And they don't listen. They're like, oh, I'm older than you, I know better. But then Trev's like, okay, well then if I overeat and I throw up or whatever, like, are you gonna deal with that after? Right? Me and Trev always think ahead that way. I don't remember what happened after. I just remember my mom's face, his tone, and then my aunt playing victim. Right? I remember that. And I was like, oh my god, Mom, you better hold me back because I'm gonna bitch slap everybody here. This is why, because they're always complaining. They're like, how come? Because I'm always with my dad when I go. Nobody else ever goes with him. And they're like, oh, it's just the daughter again with them, right? Because I told you Trev's the fave. Because if anything in a situation, I always help my dad out with everything, right? And I think that's why when the dudes see me, I was like, please, I don't need to deal with this. Because I told you my dad works on a lot of machinery and there's a lot of dudes and I don't know whose eyes are on me and I'm like, I don't want to be fucking wrongfully looked at. But anyways, then when we get irritated, so when they see Trev and the others, they're like, Trev's the fave, right? And they're like, oh, look how he behaved towards me. And I'm like, check your behavior first. Like, check yourself. The fuck? I don't remember what happened after. I tried to clear the air. I'm telling you, there's 4 of us. One of us can fuck around. The other 3 gotta make peace. Okay? So I'm like, okay. I'm on Trev's side here, but I'm like, let's diffuse the situation a little bit. I would never go near this lady because I know she's fucking, like, I don't know how her and my dad are related, other than them hard-headed as fuck from my grandfather. So I try to break, I don't know why I'm telling you guys this story, it's irrelevant to what we're talking about now, but anyways, I try to diffuse the situation, and I'm like, I let her, I think, braid my hair. Right? I'm like, I would never in a million years have her touch me because her energy's nasty as fuck and I'm gonna be blacked out for a couple of days, but I'm like, let's do that. Then when dad comes up from, I don't know which room, he was probably in the basement because every time we go over, we have to go to fix something. Right? And his eyes are going, so I'm like, they take so fucking long to fix things. I'm like, fucking hand it over to me, let me fix it. I have your hands. I remember my dad and my uncle when I fixed it and they looked at each other and they're like, wow, job done. And I never get paid for nothing. I was like, the fuck is this? I'm lucky I even got to get out of the house that day. But anyways, he comes up from whatever room. I don't remember what he was fixing. Might have been one of the Bruck ass lawnmowers, but I don't remember. He comes up and he's like, he looked at me like, what in the fuck? She's braiding your hair. He's like, when were you too close? I'm like, if you were here 10 minutes ago, you would have seen bullshit happening. And then I start to get mad because I'm like, don't fucking bring it up. I'm gonna punch you too. I'm like, your idiot sister fucking pissed off my logical brother, and now we find ourselves in this situation. I don't even remember if it was a nice braid. My hair was long at the time. I think. Yeah, it was, because when I went to the funeral, I told you guys when you have to do prayer protection braids during funeral rites, right? You're not supposed to have your hair open like this when you go because spirits cling on to it. I don't know how that works, but you know, there's a lot of spiritual bullshit with hair. Yeah, my hair was long at the time. So she got to take her nice sweet time. So when my dad was watching, he came to sit beside and talk to her or whatever. Situation solved. Everything was okay. But I'm like, okay, I need to maintain the peace now because I'm like, okay, I don't even want to be in this bullshit situation. I wish I was where Trevor was at the time. I was like, fuck. I didn't even get to talk to him about it after. I would have been like, damn, Trev, you had so much self-control. I would have fucking swung. Because they have no conscience, right? If they would tell you to do something fucked up and see if you would do the fucked up shit. Like, any sinful thing. Like, I'm just using gluttony as an example because they like to force people to overeat and fuck up their weight, right?